Bunny Nerdigans, this is the one and only Packer Girl 89, and today's book Nerdigan video is Never Fade by Alexandra Braken. And this, if you haven't read the Darkest Minds series, this is the second book. You need to go read the Darkest Minds, go read Never Fade, and then come back here and then we can talk about it. So, goodbye non-spoilers. Anyway, now for the real good stuff, this is what some of my favorite parts of the Never Fade were. First of all, I want to say Never Fade is kind of, Never Fade totally reminds me of Mockingjay when, you know, Katniss is in District 13 and she kind of realizes it's almost the same thing that, you know, that the government-wise. But the difference is, to me, is that a lot of the agents there want to kill them. So, yeah. Anyway, let me give you my thoughts on the book. Alright, so we have Ruby, we have Vita who's a blue, we have Jude who is a yellow, and we have Nico's a green. I was really sad when Jude was killed, Jude died. Jude was a big sweetheart. It was kind of like when Prim died at the end of Hunger Games, in my opinion. I love that Olivia came back in this book because of the Blue Tribe, and that's where, you know, Liam ended up being. And of course, Liam has the USB, and we now know by the end of this book, we know the USB has a cure, a possible cure, and Clancy doesn't want that. And of course, we had Clancy come back in this book, but I'll get to that in a second. I'm glad, I don't wish death upon people, but I'm glad Rob is dead. Rob deserved to die. He was an asshole. I love that when Ruby called Rob's ass out. That was awesome. That made my day when I read that. I was like, yay! And this is a reread for me. So, like, so it's been, when did I read Darkest Minds and Never Fade? I read them, I'm going to say I read them like 2 years ago. I read them in like 2013-ish. Yeah, I read them in 2013. And another thing that I really liked in this book was, I loved it when Liam made fun of Chubb's nickname, and my favorite thing he said was, you couldn't have chosen something cooler, someone who is maybe not an all-set white guy. I loved it. I love Vita. I think Vita is one of my favorite characters, but I think Vita is one of my favorite characters, but I want to say my favorite character in this series, and I will explain why, and in the Afterlight, is Chubbs, because Chubbs is just pretty awesome. When I saw that the Red killed, or it was just a random kid killed the president, I was thinking that it must have been a Red from Project Jamboree, and I think that's what the book said, but I can't remember right now, because it's been at least a week since I read this book, and I have read, since then, I've read In the Afterlight, I've read Brightly Woven, I've read Wildfire, and I'm reading Embers and Echoes by Karsten White right now. But, yeah. Oh yeah, we have a new couple. We have two new couples besides Libby. We have Cheetah, aka Chubbs and Vita, and we have Olivia and Brett, aka #Rivia. It sounds like a fucking sugar substitute, but whatever. I was like, Clancy is such an interesting and bizarre character. Like, he reminds me, he kind of reminds me of Luke in the Percy Jackson series, and he reminds me of, who's the character that I thought that he reminded me of? Oh, he reminds me of Colt from the Wildfire series by Karsten Knight. That's who he reminds me more of, is Colt, from the Wildfire series by Karsten Knight. And it will be explained when I get to the Wildfire series video. I'm going to do separate ones for Wildfire and Embers and Echoes because there's so much to talk about, and this is Never Fade. I thought it was interesting that that the First Lady developed this cure, and it's like, I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, our First Lady doesn't do that. I mean, that would be awesome if our First Lady did something like that. Like, what I mean is actually do scientific research, especially with. I know I'm trying not to bring my politics into this, but I'm a libertarian, so I gotta say it. It's kind of, you know, like if Michelle Obama did research on, you know, nutrition and on physical exercise, then maybe we would have fixed the obesity problem. But then again, I'm just studying to be a dietitian, but maybe I'll do a video on that, but I don't know. But I really did, so I'm going to say this, I did enjoy this book a lot. I'm sorry this one is really short, but there's really not a lot for me to say on this. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Right before Ruby got kidnapped and Jude like electrocuted everyone. That was so cool. I was like thinking, this is like Pikachu against all those Spearow, and he did that thunder in the rain to save Ash. Sorry, I had an anime Nerdigan moment. That was like the first or second episode of Pokemon, by the way. But that part was pretty badass too. And this is when they were trying to get, you know, the medical supplies for everybody. I thought when Mike and the other guy that followed him out just tried to sabotage him, I was just like, wow. But there was all this aid in this building from like different countries, and I mentioned it in the Darkest Minds video that I didn't buy that China would do anything. That just didn't make any sense. But yeah, but Clancy is a freaking backstabber, just like Colt. He freaking deceived them. I'm thinking that Clancy is a hoppy trickster, hop-high trickster god or something, because seriously, what in the carmine Arceus, man? Clancy, you're such a butthead, because it turned out that Nico was telling Clancy to have everyone stay away from the facility while Kate and Cole and some of the other agents get them out. So I thought that was such a BS, and Nico felt just so ashamed, because Clancy was his hero, kind of like how Percy Jackson was Nico's hero until Bianca was killed. Then he went through that phase, and that's what I felt like happened here. Those are my thoughts on Never Fade. Please, I would love to hear what some of your favorite parts of the book are, and leave it in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, and also follow me on Twitter. As of January 27th, I'm on book number 16, which is Embers and Echoes by Karsten White. I think I'm halfway done with it right now. So, anyway, until the next video, Book Nerdigans, keep on reading.